Bitcoin hoodie guy coming back here with another Kaspa video. Before we get into it, could you please Mike Tyson the like and subscribe button? Wow, just went over 5,000 subscribers this morning. I appreciate and I'm thankful for every one of you guys and gals. Super appreciate it, and couldn't grow the channel without you guys. And that's it. Let's get into it. Today we're going to be talking about corporate treasuries. We'll run through a few things before we get to that, but the meat and potatoes of this video is going to be corporate treasuries. Dipped down below 16 cents. Really nothing new to see there. Let's go take a look. 1.15 exahash. That's nice. You zoom out and you can see how beautiful that hash rate is. You can see the total fees paid for dipped down to 275,000, but then yesterday back up to 711,000, which I think is just roughly over a 10% increase for the miners. I think they're getting roughly about 6.6 million Kaspa. See Nacho 53 million, 199,000 trading volume. You can see a lot of these trading volumes is not a lot. Casreg, I haven't even heard of that one. Caspi, $6 million. Pepe, $700,000. And Old Hoodie, $3,300, 159 holders, $17 trading volume. So a lot of money getting thrown around there. The House of Crypto is a pretty big channel. He has 46,000 subscribers. And 23 hours ago, he made a video, talked a lot about Kaspa in it. And, I make a lot of mistakes too, but he made a really big mistake because he was talking about KRC20s and he said they're EVM compatible, which is a Ethereum virtual machine. And they did usher in smart contracts, which neither one of those is true. As far as I know, they're just partially signed Casper transactions. And I know 100% they're not EVM compatible. If they were, everyone in the community have been talking about it. So he was off on that. I don't know. I think he was talking about Sui or whatever. I guess Sui's going to have some token releases. That's the nice thing about Kaspa. The tokenomics, that there's only less than 14% left to be mined. So it's good when big channel's talking about it. He got some facts wrong, kind of some big ones, but is what it is. Let's go on here. One of the reasons I started thinking about corporate treasuries is Metaplanet. They're kind of the micro strategy of Japan. Just bought 107 Bitcoin, loading up. So I guess now they have 506 Bitcoin. You might have seen websites like this, bitcointreasuries.net. I think there's bitcointreasuries.com too. And you can see then here it shows, whoops, let's get this out. Public companies, MicroStrategy, Marathon Digital is the number 2 Bitcoin holder for public companies. Tesla has got it right. You can see governments, United States, China, United Kingdom, Ukraine, obviously like Bhutan and El Salvador and a few other countries. You can see the ETFs, BlackRock's ETF, Grayscale, Fidelity, ARK, Bitwise. And then there's the private companies, Block One, Tether Holdings. Tether's actually building up a lot. Mt. Gox, I guess those haven't been distributed yet. This got me thinking about Kaspa Treasury. I think it can hit $1.50 to $2.20 next year. And that's not going to happen this year, I don't believe. But I do think that's like a 10x here, 10, 12x, I think is on the table. If you look at Kaspa's market dominance, and you said, okay, what if Kaspa's market dominance 5x and the market did a 2x, then that would put it up there. But going back to the Bitcoin treasuries, we'll just take a look here. Crypto Grod. If you're reading this, Kaspa is going to explode soon. KRC20 is going to outperform Solana memes. Kaspa is going to set you free. Kaspa is going to be around forever. Well, we don't know about forever. Oh, yeah, I forgot to put a link. I'll put a link in this afterwards. This is just the testnet 11, 10 blocks per second, showing you what's going on. So it's pretty cool. I'll put a link in the description. I forgot to do that. But going back to corporate treasuries, we all know that Marathon Digital announced that they're they're the Kaspa mining operations. This is, and I put a link to this. This is actually their SEC filing, their 10Q form on August 1st. And it shows here, we'll zoom in here a little bit. So right here, you can show August 1st, 2024. This is as of June 30th, 2024. This is their digital assets, Bitcoin, 18,488. And that's, worth about $1.1 billion. Kaspa 88, almost 89 million. Cost basis $7 million, and they have a fair value $17 million. You can see that by December, 31st, they're showing no Kaspa. So I think they started mining in October. So I don't know if they sold the ones initially because they didn't report anything on the December 31st. Maybe they wanted to keep it quiet. I don't know how much leeway a publicly traded company has, but Caspa's there, and the wallet address that I have that I believe is might be linked to them is the number 17th address that has right now 86 million. So they might have peeled a couple off. I don't know. People just send wallets, whatever. So they're pretty much still holding if this wallet is correct and that is them. But that's pretty good. And Marathon Digital is worth 4.78 billion. I think it's the largest publicly traded Bitcoin miner, at least in the United States. So when's there going to be a website like this, but for Caspa? I don't know. But we know that, there's one publicly traded company that's putting it on their balance sheet. They know that right now with Caspa, for the amount of energy, 1 kilowatt hour, they're making more money with Caspa than they are Bitcoin. And they're not just dumping it right away. If that wallet address on Cas.fy is really theirs, then they've only peeled back 2 million. And, I guess they've been mining since then. It probably sold a little bit more. But, and then you got KII, all the different stuff. I put a link to this video. I know someone was asking for a link. You might already seen it. It's got 2.6 thousand views, so a good chance. Paul Van Son keynote speech. I'm really excited to listen to what Rory said more in depth about like the olive chain and things like that. Their warp core, the different, the gigawatt stable coin, a lot of cool stuff. But, so a lot of these companies, and I know that's what Shy is really excited about, is all these companies that'll be using like real world case. So someday there probably will be a website. I made a video yesterday about the storm coming. With the when it comes, we don't know, but here you can see when you just look at the debt since 1971, you can see that it's went up. But when you look back over the last 100 years, you can see how, World War II, our debt went up, and then basically our debt went back down, and then we kind of went sideways until the 80s when it really started ballooning up. But we're even higher now, and then the next election cycle we could be even up to where this debt thing is right here. It could be that high. So we'll just check. How to cash out a 1 million Caspa coins. Better to sell at $1, I think. Hoodie guy got on Caspa at 11.5 cents. Been holding for a long time. I'm tired of waiting. I've made so much more money with other projects. I put 50K into Caspa. Well, you just got to have patience or sell, do whatever you want. For me, I'm not trying to move my bags around too much. So for me, waiting sideways, a lot of the market's been sideways. There's winners, and, um, so I can't tell you exactly what to do. That's up to you. Me personally, I've just pretty much held pretty much all my Caspa and bought a little bit on the dip recently. And you can see like Bitcoin's basically been trading in a range for many months. So in that time, there's going to be some things like Tau or something that outperforms it. But for the most part, most crypto projects have been going sideways for the last 6 months. So it just depends on what you believe in this cycle and then what you believe in the future technology. So those are things I can't tell you what to do. And, even like this guy right here, smart guy, I mean, he's probably smarter than me. And he is talking about how KRC20s are EVM compatible and they're not. So, who knows really what's going on. And that's what's tricky, is that on a YouTube video or Discord or something, some people are going to get good information, and, and some people might be right, 9 times out of 10, but then that 10th time you listen to them and they're not right. None of us truly know. I mean, are we going to have a early cycle top? Are we going to have a double top? Are we going to have the top in October, roughly, September, October, November, when it typically would happen? We don't know. But for me, the boring action is not sideways, and there has been things that outperformed it, but But yeah, if you have a million Caspa, I mean, that's $1 million, depending where you live. That could be a lot of money. You know, probably would want to sell some of them. But that's all those decisions you got to make yourself. I'm not a financial advisor, so just a guy that likes to make videos on YouTube. But a million Caspa at $1 or a little before, I would definitely maybe consider taking some profit with a low cost basis. Um, you definitely have some good profit. That's my biggest mistake so far, is not taking any profit. So that's what I'm going to be working on this cycle. But um, so there's two things for me with Caspa: is taking some profit next year and trying to figure out how much of my bag I want to keep for the future, because of stuff like how fast it's going to be going, decentralized proof of work. You got, big Bitcoin miners diversifying into Caspa. So they have corporate treasuries. I mean, eventually someone can probably build a website like this, but for Caspa. Um, and maybe Caspa never rises up to what Bitcoin was, but doesn't mean that people might not be putting on a corporate treasury, because make no mistakes about it, these people with money are not oblivious to the fact that the dollar is losing value and the national debt is getting increased. And like the video I made yesterday, you go to the spending, and this might take a second for it to pop up, but they're, you can see that in the dollar wise, what are they going to cut here? Social Security, Medicare, net interest, health, national defense, income security. I don't even know what income security is, but veterans benefits, education, training, transport. And so what are they going to spit? And you can see that when you click on the deficit, this last calendar year is $1.9 trillion that they spent more than they had. And so they need to cut $2 trillion out to have a surplus. And where's that going to come from? So that's all I got for today. I think that, it'll be interesting to see on Marathon Digital's next uh, 10Q, which I guess will come out, I guess this quarter we should see one. I don't know when they'll post their next 10Q. We'll find out for sure if this was them. That's, the first big corporate treasury. Some of these companies that KII is going to try to get involved, and some of this stuff is going to really come into play on future cycles. So, figure out your plan for taking profit next year. We're all going to have different plans. Some are going to just hold for the long cycles, trying to stack as much Caspa as they can. Some are going to try to take out some profit, maybe get their initial back, maybe pay off some debt. Some are going to try to sell almost all their bag, and some are going to sell their entire bag. And we're all going to have something that looks different. So these boring times is a time to get your plan together. So that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching, and have a good day. Oh, thanks for tuning in, Davey. Thanks. Have a good day. Appreciate it.